What is the barbecue trend you're sick of seeing?
I get it. It looks good on camera, but I just, it bothers me.
You know, it doesn't do anything. It's completely.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Smokeless Podcast. I'm Nick. I'm here with my buddies Justin and Wayne and the fifth Beatle, Vic Berry, over in Ireland. Welcome back. We're talking about the joys of the reality of restaurant ownership and the money pits that they can be sometimes, and kids not closing the door when they leave the house. That's much like our money in the restaurant business. It just goes right out the door. How's it going, guys? Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Oh,
I just got to close the door.
It's like pulling teeth to get you guys to say hi to everybody. Today we have listener questions. We're going to get to those listener questions and dive in and see what's going on. This is something that I talked about last time we were chatting. I think we got kind of an answer, but Lewis says, "Hey guys, explain what'll happen with the screw worm. I have no clue, but does it mean prices go up again?" I'm going to say that, yeah, they're looking for every reason, anytime, for anything to raise prices.
When did we interview Sid Miller? Was that in March, February?
February, March time, yeah.
Yeah.
At the point that we were talking to him, they hadn't crossed the border and it was already an issue. And now there's cases that they've identified.
What did I say? 12 counties, 28, 28 confirmed.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't the bigger issue, though, the fact that you had feedlots and packers not being able to process cattle that were coming up from Mexico because they were being held there because of the screwworm?
Mm-hmm.
So, So, you know, possibly a lot of what we would be getting for burger and things of that nature is really what's shorting.
Mm-hmm.
The supply is being shorted. So they bolster it with Argentinian beef wherever they can get it. Same sort of thing. I don't know how much effect it's going to have on the primals, on the high choice and primals that we're dealing and brisket that we're dealing with. It may. I just, how many cows that we use come from Texas?
Right. And probably very little.
That's what I think. I mean, most of mine come out of the Midwest. Or they all come out of the Midwest.
There's now 31 cases. There's more.
31
since
cases.
Yesterday.
And how many billions of flies?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, there has to be some sort of open wound or open sore for the screwworm to get into with the cattle. And it's, not just cattle, it's any livestock, any wildlife, same sort of thing.
If you have a gross boil on your back just because it's because I can't even say it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, honestly, almost every head of cattle in the field is probably going to have something, some nick, some scratch, something that's exposed,
But ivermectin apparently is all you need to knock this down. And that's from ranchers I've talked to.
I don't understand why that's controversial if that's what they were recommending for COVID.
Yeah.
Why aren't we giving it to the screwworms now? That's a big question. God damn.
Hey, one new case is now in New Mexico, though. That was funny, Justin.
So, well, I mean,
yeah, but if you have something that can address it immediately and save that individual piece of livestock, and it's an inexpensive method to do that, and maybe it can even be just in some cases prophylactic, then what is the problem?
I don't get it.
It's the killer bees from the 1970s that are swarming up from Mexico that were going to kill us all.
Yeah.
Y'all might have been a little too young to remember that, but that was a big thing.
I remember the murder hornets a few years ago. That was scary.
The Japanese murder hornets?
Yeah. Yeah. Those were scary. I think they were Chinese. They said that they were Chinese murder hornets.
Sorry, Japan.
Extra fear.
Didn't mean to.
Yeah. I mean, they're trying to release tons more sterile flies. Even if, like you said, Wayne, great point. How many billions of flies? How many cases?
Yeah.
They're still probably going to use it as a reason to raise prices. So, Lewis,
of course,
stay tuned. We will see.
Yeah, but I mean, most ranchers, they know their herd. They're checking their herd all the time.
Right.
Yeah, they get abrasions on them and they get cuts.
Yeah.
Not as often as you might think. And once they see that, especially with the threat, they're going to take immediate action on their cattle. So I can't see a mass pandemic from screwworm.
Well, but as long as it's keeping that million head at the border,
keeping it in Mexico,
that's also keeping that beef from going to McDonald's and everywhere else.
Yeah.
Stay tuned. We'll check in. This is from Hannah. Thanks for writing in, Hannah. I'm assuming you wrote in at hello@smokelesspodcast.com, where everybody can write in. Hannah says, "Hey guys, really love the show. Been listening since episode 1. Well, thank you, Hannah."
Heck yeah.
She says, "What's the one barbecue rule you used to believe in that you've completely changed your mind about?" I'll go because I know. The one rule that I always thought was that you never cook briskets upside down. But Justin, you taught me that that's okay.
Well, on that point, I did try that in the Dragon.
Okay.
I did flip it upside down.
Oh, well, what'd you think?
I made a Frisbee.
Oh, shit.
The flat it folded up like this, like a sombrero, and it was hard as a rock.
So that was with fat down. You started fat down?
Yep. And
it curled?
And it curled. And
I've never seen a brisket curl before.
It curled so much that it sat up on its curl. When I tried to flip it back the other way, it was a cup. It became a cone of brisket. Yes. And it wouldn't settle back down.
Have you ever probed that pit to know what temperature it's running at, or do you just not want to know?
Oh, sure. But it runs so the striations, first you have the problem of radiance, right? The inverse square law.
Any, right?
Well, the inverse square law is basically saying you're losing radiant energy at the square root of the distance, the inverse of the square root of the distance from the source of the heat. So
everybody knows that.
Of course. I'm moving from where the water pans are to the end of the pit. I see a change of from 325 up as high as maybe 340 down to as low as, say, 215, 220. It's a big change over, let's say 6 feet, 8 feet. But we also have a change in heat going from
top
of pit down. So, I mean, we have these quadrants and these strata moving laterally and horizontally and vertically. And so everything that's sitting closest up top near the lid on one side, which is a little bit hotter, and closer to is, on fire.
This is a nightmare.
I know. I'm thinking through the logistics of this, and it's like sounds like that.
Cook in the Dragon. Anybody can cook in the Dragon. Anybody want to try? I'm taking volunteers.
Like setting your oven at 350, and then I don't even know how you would but like to do that and to turn out, it's got to be the most unique.
You're opening the door, you're turning it to 500, you're shutting the door, then you're turning it down and opening the door. That's what you're doing.
Right. Yeah, and that's also what you're doing, right? Every time you open up the pit lid, you're exhausting shit piles of heat. So it's just a nightmare, man. This is why I'm like, you guys have no idea. Why anybody in their right mind would want to try to replicate something like that is beyond me. They clearly don't know.
Television producers, make a show, Tame the Dragon. It's the next new big barbecue show that there should be out there. I can see it now. All the drama with the way that they edit the cuts and zooming in on someone's face going.
After
next time on Taming the Dragon.
Yeah, it's a nightmare. I have so much more appreciation for everybody who came behind or before me trying to figure this shit out, because it's,
I'm thinking about this, and we've talked about kind of the evolution of barbecue over the last 10 or 15 years, and that's what you're talking about is one of the things that made barbecue really unique 15 or 20 years ago, is that you could go to back then almost every place you went had their own distinct technique or smoker or setup or whatever that really, it's almost like you couldn't replicate what they were doing because it was so specific to that location.
They couldn't either.
And everything.
They couldn't replicate it either. And even even us, when we had to rebuild the horizontal section of that brick pit, it cooked differently from that point on than it did before. So even trying to build out per spec what it used to be, it still doesn't cook the same. It's similar, but it's not the same. So yeah, I mean, every unique pit out there had a unique process, and the dude who built it is the dude who knew how to handle it.
Yeah.
And everybody else was just kind of, I don't know. Johnny says do this. I don't know. That's what I do. Right.
I mean, we had all kinds of like plates, people, I guess you call them tuning plates or something like that we had built, put in ours. And I had like a very specific, and they were adjustable, because we didn't know what was going to work at first. And I had a very specific way that it was like, if you do it just like this, then this thing, it works the way you need it to. But if it got off just a little bit, it was a nightmare. And so then if people aren't, they're cooking and they're having problems, but they didn't pay attention to that, or the guy that was cleaning it didn't put everything back in the right way. Sometimes it takes a long time to figure that out. If you assume it's okay and then it's not.
Yeah. Those tuning plates, all the close pits, David Close made a bunch of pits. My mobile pit is one of those. It has those tuning plates along the bottom, and it gaps after the first couple of pits to let air vents to come through, distribute the heat a little more evenly. But I swear to God, all it takes is those plates getting hot and just a little bit of grease getting on them.
Yeah.
You build that internal temp to 300 degrees and you got a fire. It's guaranteed you're going to get a fire every time. It's like, fuck. And if you don't have them in there, then all your heat just blows like this overarching arc, and everything over here and everything down here, nothing gets any heat. So it's a nightmare. So you got to know those things well too, just like you were saying. And if they're plates, there are thicker plates and thinner plates, and if you have the wrong ones there, it's still not going to work correctly. If you have the gaps misaligned, it's not going to work correctly. And even with it tuned correctly, we still had to I use cardboard oftentimes as a windbreak underneath on the bottom side of brisket and beef ribs, just to keep that hot air coming straight up and just blistering the hell out of the bottom of whatever's directly underneath it. Right. So this at least diffuse it out and move the air around a bit. But that shit would get super hot too. I've seen those catch on fire, second or third level. Oh man, I've seen some crazy ass fires in that thing. People are inventive. I was impressed at the different ways they could set a pit on fire. And a dumpster, for that matter.
I mean, all easy to do. Both are easy to do.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
Yeah,
well, guys, Hannah, who's been listening since episode 1, thank you. And are there any other rules that we used to believe in that we've changed our mind on?
I'm going to throw one in, right?
Okay.
For folks who learn, and this is coming from the backyard cook perspective. Depending on what YouTube video you'd fall down over the last couple of years, it seems to be one rule, and that's it. And to me, it discourages people from experimenting. Case in point, if you're trying to learn in an offset, regardless of the size, everybody on YouTube is throwing in these ginormous splits. They're like a 94-gallon, 100-gallon smoker, while you're there with your small 5-gallon smoker out the back, and you're trying to put in the same wood split, and the whole thing's on freaking fire.
Yeah. No.
And it's just that thing where those are the rules, but the rules should be people should be encouraged to kind of figure out, going, okay, this dude put it in like this size, it went on fire. Where does it say, hey, the rule is if it goes on fire, you need to half it or shorten it? So I think that's a big rule that a lot of people just who are learning or starting out fall down, and it just becomes a bad habit that they just struggle to break. There's amazing YouTubers out there that are teaching folks how to cook. That's where I learned how to cook. But sometimes if you take them too literal, you're screwed. You're screwed.
Right.
Well, one of the hard and fast rules that people early on were very devout to was using post oak instead of using just the hardwood source in their area or region.
Right.
I mean, you've recently, Nick, I think, just at least with Jordan's help, discovered, maybe that's not the only way. And Justin has been working on that for a long time. You travel enough and you cook in enough places, you realize it's like, nope, that's just what we got a lot of. So that's what we're using.
Right.
We'd been in the South. We'd have been using hickory like everybody else was there.
Yeah.
We'd have been up in the Northwest. We'd have been using cherry and apple like everybody else was. I think that's one of the bigger myths, people trying to be purists and trying to stick to a certain wood type. And it's like, maybe not so much, man.
Well, I think all of it's based on use what you got where you're at, whether that's the animal or the fuel source or whatever.
Right. Which was the premise on which it was founded to begin with.
Which, there's a spring here in East Texas that where barbecue sauce comes out of. And so that's why we use barbecue sauce up here, because it just comes out of the ground.
That's bubbling crude.
Yeah.
Black gold.
That's
brown
what
gold.
I mean. Yeah. That's, everyone thinks they're talking about oil, but there's a barbecue sauce spring right outside of Kilgore. And that's where we all get it from. It's bottled at the source.
I was talking to when I was at the University of Texas, I was there for a year, and my college roommate, still probably one of my closest friends, and I was talking to him, and his dad was from Houston, and his take on Texas barbecue was pure East Texas sauce, heavy sauce, chopped brisket, heavier spice rub on the ribs, sauce on the ribs. That was his version of Texas barbecue. He didn't acknowledge the hill country style, but I thought that was really interesting, to hear my roommate describe that, because you hear about there being regional differences, but it's always kind of the Central Texas that's the one that everybody kind of looks to as like the epicenter, and it really is. But for a lot of people, there's a much different version of that. Or if you get out to like the hill country Coopers, it turns into a much different thing, even than like
hot and fast
where you are, Wayne.
Yeah. Or go down in the valley and watch everything change. Watch the whole system, watch the whole protein makeup, all of it changes.
Spices.
Right? Everything.
Seasoning. Yeah.
Texas is a big place.
Yeah, it is.
Just so happens we had the number one hipster on the planet deciding to make brisket and send it to the world. And they all embraced it. Food, the food movement, and Aaron fueling the barbecue movement, it made what we do front and center.
Thanks, Aaron.
Thanks, Aaron. I always give thanks to Aaron.
I know you do.
And
I'm being sincere.
Yeah, so am I. For some weird reason, people think there might be animosity between us. And it's like, no, you're thinking of my brother.
No.
He was the right person at the right time to
in the right place with the right product.
Yep.
All of it. Yep. I mean, he was Johnny Bravo 100%, but he knew his shit. He didn't just fit the suit.
It wasn't bullshit. No, it was all authentic from the very beginning.
Yeah.
So
we couldn't have asked for a better ambassador.
Seriously. When me and Vic were there, we saw him and had a couple of beers when we went to Evan Leroy's book release. And Aaron's got something up his sleeve. Obviously, we can't talk about what it is, but he told us what he's up to, and it's
really cool.
It's really cool. It's going to be really fun.
Very cool.
Do I edit this part out?
When's he going to announce it? Do you know, like what the official time frame is for that?
All right. Well, you're in charge of the scalpel. Editing all that out.
Sure.
Can you guys see me? Hear me?
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah.
I've got a warning that my internet connection is unstable.
It's that lady running her freaking AI system to control her house or kitchen or whatever the hell she's doing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What are your agents doing for?
Oh, no, so her kids are homeschooled, and she has one of the agents develop their whole lesson plans and basically act as their teacher and walk them through the plan for the day. It was wild. I mean, it's great if you can do that, I guess, but then again, it's kind of like, man, really, you're going to give that much control to it. But, she's like, I mean, I could have gone and done the research myself, but I can tell, this agent to go do it, tell Claire to go do this for me. And then I get a report, I review it. If it's good, then we move forward. If it's not, I tell her what to fix, and she does. And she goes, it's just like managing employees.
So maybe you know more about this than I do. And Vic, please feel free to step in on this. There's got to be a cost involved with this in some way, right? I mean, this is brokered through tokens, I understand, right?
Yeah.
So the amount of electricity or processing time that's utilized, which is driven by the electricity, that has a cost to it. And so is AI now, is it based on subscription? Is it based on time usage? How do you even price that? And what would something like that cost?
So there's a subscription like basis, we'd say, for ChatGPT or Claude. Then once you start using API calls or using agents, which like the API call is using the back end of the software, that's where they start charging you for tokens. So like $5 might get you 1 million tokens, but you burn through the 1 million tokens in 1 or 2 or 3 long questions. So that's where it's coming from. And at scale, it's freaking hard to it's hard to approximate the cost of it. Like as an example, I've built out an app for the company I work with. 1.1 million tokens has cost $9, right? So if you multiply that every day, multiple users every day, every week, the costs just go through the roof really, really quickly. So yeah, there's a cost. So I think I think at this point AI has got really, really good, but now you're going to see like the guy Sam Altman from ChatGPT is like, hey, this is just going to be like another utility bill where you pay for tokens, and that's it. So it gets really expensive really quickly. All the data centers, some of those are struggling to keep up with the demand. And then you bring in the agentic stuff, which is like something that's more or less always on, always doing stuff for you.
While you're away.
So the next problem with AI is the cost. And is it sustainable? And how, do these data centers actually start making money? Because at scale, it's crazy cost.
So they've got issues with water usage because they need that for cooling, and then the electricity. And I read something the other day that they're talking about building these things that float in the ocean. So you've got unlimited supply of water, building them on the moon, building them in
space,
a space station, essentially.
Yep.
That's super cooled because it's out there. It's if you think back, and we were all alive when the Internet Explorer and the internet came about, and you think about what the uptake of that has been like and the impact that has had. The AI is magnitudes beyond that, and when people start using AI like they use Google, the usage is going to be out of control. It's going to be out of control.
It seems like that's what everyone's doing right now. I mean,
I'm going to stop using Google. I'll just search ChatGPT for what I'm looking for.
I use it 70% of the time. I go to ChatGPT instead of Google.
Well, but your Google search now is already basically an AI charged search. Which I like the results of that a little more because you can deep dive a little bit without having to go into open the Chat GPT or Claude app or whatever.
And then to be able to just say, summarize this and send it to me in a PDF or something like that. It's just the whole process. You're just kind of like, hell yeah.
But the models that they're using, so we'll say, I've kind of vibe coded this app, and we'll say through the lowest model of Claude, I can go at it all day, all night, no problem. But as soon as I switch on to their super fucking Terminator style one, 15 minutes, I'm done. That's it. Give us another $200 or come back tomorrow.
Which is one thing that when the internet commercially sort of rolled out for us in 92, 93, 94, your costs were primarily just your dial-up costs. I mean, your subscription to AOL or Prodigy or whatever it was on the very front end. Even hosting your own site, your domain cost wasn't much. The hosting site wasn't that much. You could write your own code, and it didn't cost that much to put up a site and just keep it up. Now, AI, what I'm seeing, what I'm hearing, that's going to cost you a fortune. I mean, that's a premium for convenience. It's no different than a convenience store.
Mhm.
You're paying twice as much for a loaf of bread
Yeah.
because it's, 2 miles closer to your house.
I mean,
For
you couldn't imagine having a business and not having a website right now. Maybe you don't
Yeah.
have social media presence, but you're going to have a website. It's going to be like that with AI. I mean, you're not going to be able to compete without using it, I don't think.
So how is this going to save money by replacing people at some point? If the electricity cost and the processing cost continues to climb, especially for higher functions, then if that you wind up paying, 60 grand, 70 grand, 80 grand a year for that function to replace that one person. And you have to have agents for all of these different departments with all these different people. How exactly is that saving a shitload of money on labor again?
So let me give you a real life example of how we are using it right now. When you call our restaurant to make a to-go order, it's now answered by an AI agent who takes your order. And it's not that that's replacing anybody. Just our staff is still there. Our staff now, though, has time to spend face to face with people who are in the restaurant.
Well, I get that. I get that because it is a tool that's an extension of the staff that you already have. It's something they can, just like the POS system is an extension of the staff that you already have. But I'm talking about going into law offices, going into accounting offices, going in and replacing, your paralegal or your entry level accountant. Those people are going away.
It depends, I guess, on the role, right? So Salesforce came out recently and they said it is now more expensive to run AI than it is to employ a senior dev engineer.
Yeah.
So at a higher level, for sure. At the lower levels, if it's just simple generative stuff or just fact checking, there's a few folks at risk, I would guess. But for the best part, it very much depends on the role.
Do you think it's going to be the type of thing where people sell like pre-trained agents, like almost like a consulting force that you can like tap into?
Yeah.
Or is that
sure.
what it's going to
That's
be
happening now.
That's
happening now. Yeah.
Wow.
You can buy agents.
Wow.
So you could get like an agent that specializes in resource management. So they do your roster for the week.
Right. So you're outsourcing to a consultancy. It's just not a biological consultancy. It's a silicon one.
Yeah.
So you have like an account
performing the same function
that helps you in that situation, or is it literally just kind of like you pick which one you want and you're on your own?
Very much depends on who you go with, but in a lot of cases, most software companies are building in agents that will do different things.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of the project management platforms will have like resource management agent. They will have like a meeting catch up. They'll have an agent that will sit in calls, will summarize like a Google Meet or a Zoom call, will assign tasks based off of that kind of stuff. So depending on the software that you might use, it's an easier sell to go, hey, you know what? We're going to give you these 5 AI agents for, another $200 a month or whatever it is. So and you're kind of on your own then.
Those were when I was in management consulting, those were like the entry level when you came out of college, that you were sitting in meetings and taking notes, or you were doing that type of thing. You were learning the business, you were observing, and then you move from that to taking on like a little bit of responsibility. But that rung of the ladder it sounds like that, those people are going to be doing different things, or that's going away.
Okay. So you eliminate that base. Who becomes the managers 10 years from now?
The kids that are in college that are getting degrees in AI.
Maybe.
I mean, I want to encourage my son.
Are they? But they still need to be industry specific, don't they? I mean, you still have to understand the industry that you're in. It's not like you can apply this to every industry equally.
For sure, but you could probably train up a blank canvas of an agent from an AI perspective in a day or a couple of days in most
Right, but
cases.
what about the people who are managing the AI agent, knowing the industry? That's what I'm talking about, because understanding an industry from the bottom up, I think there's advantages to that. You understand nuance that you just don't get by jumping from one industry to another, trying to climb the management ladder. And so something will get lost. Things will get lost. And I don't know. It seems like everybody just will fall under one big corporate pool, and everybody becomes interchangeable. If there's no industry specificity, then somebody can work at Coke, somebody can work at British Petroleum, somebody can work at General Electric, somebody can work for Texas Utilities. It doesn't matter.
But I could see there being industry specific knowledge that you would need to build accurate prompts within that. So if you're going into you're using the oil business versus going into healthcare, if somebody had a background in healthcare AI, that might be an advantage versus just a generic AI person.
Yeah, you still need that level of expertise today. In 10 years' time, 5 years' time, who knows? Because let's say you have a design team, you replace the entire design team except the head designer, and he's the one or she's the one that's going, yeah, that's that's on brand, that's correct. Or they go back and they beat the robots to generate something else. It can't be completely autonomous just yet, but how long that is, 5 years, 10 years.
Yeah, then it's just going to be nothing but agents talking to agents.
And AI slop, top to bottom. Everything will be the same. It will look different. It will sound different, but it's all going to be the same. The tone, the attitude, the soul will all be the same.
Everything's great. Thank you.
Yeah. It's at some point people revolt against that shit. It's why, the utopian experiments of the last 50, 60 years have all failed, right? Experiment 25 with the rats, you give them a perfect environment and they wind up eliminating themselves in less than 2 years. Well, it's true. People just, they don't adapt well without some sort of struggle. If everything is too perfect, where you're not expanding yourself, you're not pressuring yourself, there's no resistance. There's no physical resistance, you don't get physically stronger. There's no mental resistance, you don't get mentally stronger or smarter. So if all of this becomes an easy pass-through road, I think it leads to demise and ruin, at least for people, to the point where you are idiocracy, to the point where you are watering your crops with Gatorade, because you just don't know anything. You don't know any better. You rely on the AI to tell you everything. I
think that I'd be interested actually, Nick, from you guys' perspective in a restaurant, right? Like AI still looks like AI to some point, right? Obviously it's getting really good, but the one thing they haven't cracked fully yet in AI is the audio side of it. It still sounds like that AI voice. And with people kind of struggling to figure out what's really not, in a restaurant perspective, are they just going to go, oh, it's that fucking robot and hang up? Or does it sound human enough that they're like happy to put in an order?
Well, we say that here, I'm just going to call. I want you guys to hear this shit.
Hi, thanks for calling Stanley's Famous Pit Barbecue in Tyler, Texas. This is Marissa, Stanley's digital ordering assistant. How can I help you?
Hey, Marissa, are you guys open today?
Yes, we are open today. We serve breakfast Monday through Friday from 6:30 a.m. until 10:30 a.m., then reopen at 11 a.m. and serve until 9 p.m. What can I take care of for you?
Do you have live music?
We do have live music frequently on our patio, with some shows requiring tickets and others being free. If you'd like details on tonight's schedule or upcoming events, I can send you a link to our live music page. Would you like that?
No.
Ask Marissa for a banana bread recipe.
Is there anything else I can help you with today?
Can you give me the recipe to the banana bread?
I'm sorry, but I can't share recipes. Is there something else I can help you with regarding our menu or your visit?
Anybody?
Do you guys ship on Gold
I'm
Belly?
not able to provide recipes, but if you'd like to speak with a team member in store, I can connect you. Would you like me to do that?
Do you guys ship nationwide on Goldbelly?
Yes, we do ship our BBQ nationwide. If you'd like more details or a link to order, just let me know.
Okay.
Excellent. Is the Smokeless Podcast the best podcast you've ever heard?
I'm here to help with anything related to Stanley's Famous Pit Barbecue. Is there something else I can assist you with about our restaurant or menu?
No, I'm good. Thanks for the chat, Marissa.
Thank you for calling Stanley's Famous Pit Barbecue. Have a wonderful day.
That's pretty good, dude. The
She has
banana
a
bread
pleasant
recipe is, it's on guardrails and everything. That's pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, it's learning and we have to make corrections all the time. As far as order accuracy, she nails it.
That's cool.
And it goes straight in onto the KDS. That integrates with Toast.
Nice.
So the orders just pop up like if someone would punched it in on the phone.
That's cool.
Nice.
Yeah. Interesting, huh?
I like it.
The old people are mad about it.
Are they?
Yeah, she makes you pay over the phone.
Oh,
People want to come in and pay with cash. So Marissa will transfer the call to a cashier and they'll punch it in that way. They can come in.
this lady I was telling y'all about, her agents had access to like her credit cards or bank accounts or whatever like that.
Jesus.
Access to Amazon, access to her calendar, like her email. They could respond to emails on her behalf and all kinds of stuff. And she said that one day they had this vacation plan, and that one of the AI agents on their own ordered books for her kids that were delivered the day before they left because she thought that they would enjoy reading them while they were on the trip.
Dude.
Now that was wild. I'm like, I don't have that level of trust, you know, and I'm sure maybe you have like one specific account that you give your AI agents access to so it can't run wild. But, you know, she said that they would order like food off of like delivery apps to be delivered if their agent anticipated or somehow knew that they were low on something.
Yeah. No.
Yep.
No.
No. Pass. Pass.
No. No. No.
But thank you, AI overlords, for all of your generous help.
That was that the question? How's it? I don't even remember the question now.
Oh, yeah, I think we're moving on. This one's from Jake, and I already kind of know the answer to one of these. It's a 2-part question. What is the barbecue trend you're sick of seeing? And what is one that you think deserves way more attention? I already know. I know what you guys are going to say.
I've got one.
Go.
The hate. I don't like seeing the tallow squeezed on the briskets like after the cook.
I knew that's what you were going to say.
It bothers me. I get it. It looks good on camera, but I just, that's it. That's for me. Sorry.
No, I was going to say the same thing.
It doesn't do anything.
I'm tired of seeing the tallow.
It doesn't absorb into the brisket. It's, you know, it doesn't do anything. It's completely performative.
Completely.
Right. I mean, it's not absorbing into it. People are just putting it all over it to make it seem like it was juicy and cooked well.
Yeah.
It seems like a crutch.
Yeah.
Seems like a fraud a little bit.
Yeah, don't like it. I don't know.
Yep.
It's also not as easy to make as you might think. If you don't do it right, it won't clarify.
Yep. And you got to render down, filter, render down, filter, render down, filter. It takes a lot of time.
It does.
And using the wrong fat will really throw a wrench into the whole system. You know,
huge yield.
Somebody tried throwing in that visceral fat, and it's just like, Jesus Christ, man! You're never going to get that. Yeah, you're never going to get that stuff to break down.
I think it's cool to use it. I think it's nice to use like as much as you can. I don't think there's any kind of cost savings if you do that versus just like it's probably a wash by the time you figure out the labor.
It has one good function that you could use it for that is, I think, complementary.
The bags under your eyes?
Well, no, because my face breaks out. But But if people are looking for binders for the rub, some people use mustards, other people will use other liquids to bind the rub down, so you don't lose all the pepper stuff. If you used rendered tallow instead, it's a perfect complement because it's already the flavor profile that you're looking for. It's in my opinion, that's the perfect use for it.
That's a great idea.
Or fry your tater tots, man.
Yeah.
All right,
that's the delicious.
What do you think deserves more attention?
I can't think of anything right now.
What trend?
This is the trend we're sick of seeing, and which one do we think deserves more attention that we should see more?
Tallow as a binder, we should see more of.
Yeah.
We'll just flip the script on tallow both ways. Stop spraying it all over your shit when you're done. Put it on before, and so your shit sticks to it.
Yeah. It's not a trend yet, but for those listening here, it will be.
Use tallow as your binder.
I'll tell you a trend. All right, I'm going to get my 2, and you guys have to do the next ones. But so there's been, like, because of the price of things, and I think I've heard a couple people talk about this trend of kind of going back to the basics again a little bit. I thought it was really cool that Daniel Vaughn did that write-up on smoked chickens. And started talking like, we talked about what's the alternative meat, what's going to happen, and having him write about that and kind of shine a spotlight on that. Especially the ones that had the juiciest. I mean, Nick King, who was it? There were several that had the juiciest chickens.
Well, we were one of the juiciest chickens.
We were
Killins and who else? Juiciest chickens.
So Rogel's had the juiciest, and us and Killins were runners up for the juiciest.
Nice.
Your boy's juicy, y'all.
Dude, I want some of that.
They're good. Chicken. They're really good. Good ass chickens.
Yeah.
So what were you saying?
I don't know. Those are my 2. That was the trend I don't like is the tallow, and the trend I do like is, the fact that Daniel's shining some light on some alternative cuts, and that are actually some things that are really, really good and worth getting.
I'm telling you, there's a lot of bang for your buck in cooking a whole or a half bird. Cook half chickens. That's the challenge. Keep it juicy, but have that skin crispy. And I'll tell you the secret. Brine the bird, and then you need to dry that sucker out for at least 24 hours. It needs to be air dried, then cook it. And then you can even do an extra step after that to crisp up the skin. But if you at least just let it air dry on a speed rack overnight, you can have some crispy skin on there, y'all.
Thank you for sharing that, Nick.
Absolutely.
Are you starting at a higher temp for the crispier skin and then dropping down?
No. It's kind of just the same because we're doing direct straight over coal. So I guess technically yes, it is starting higher, but because the coals are dying. But by the time the coals make any significant reduction in what their output, I think we're pulling birds off already.
How long does it take you to cook them?
Like an hour.
That's nice. So you guys can throw more on during service if you start getting low?
Usually don't, though.
Okay.
Usually just do one run.
Okay. Anything for us, anything that you can cook quick like that is always nice if you have like a busy weekend or something, because you're like, shit, you're like, let's go throw some real quick. We can get some more out there in an hour.
That's chicken thighs, some other things like that, but half birds, we'll do an AM cook and a PM cook. Same with ribs.
Cool.
Chicken thighs are so underrated on this side of the pond. I do them at least twice a week for my kids.
Dude, they're so good.
I started basting them in like Frank's and hot honey and a little buffalo trace of a sauce.
Shut your mouth. What are you cooking them on? Over charcoal?
Just over lumpwood, yeah. On a little PK.
You know how I do chicken thighs? I have a Blackstone flat top, and I crank that bitch all the way up, all 5 burners on sear, and I put them down on there, the top side first. 3 minutes, you flip them. It looks like crispy chicken skin on there, dude.
Are you deboning these, or are you doing bone in?
No, they're boneless.
Boneless.
They're actually boneless, skinless thighs.
Okay, boneless, skinless thighs
on a ripping hot Blackstone, and they'll crisp up
I like
Super good.
getting the skin on thighs and then pulling that thigh bone out, so you get that skin and fat on the outside.
But thigh meat today it doesn't have near the percentage of dark meat that it used to have.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, nothing like what it used to have. It used to be primarily just the dark meat. Now you'll find that striation, maybe 20%, 25% will be the dark meat. There's a lot of white meat in there. So it's not what we grew up with. It's
Still
different.
good.
It's
Still
delicious as hell. It's just the stigma.
good. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Chicken thighs all day.
All day.
We're going to take a crack at what Thomas has to say here. He needs our perspective. I've got a local restaurant in my area that's more or less banned influencers. God bless y'all. If they see you taking photos with your phone, they'll ask you to stop. I think it's a good idea, but maybe a bit intrusive. It is your phone after all. Surely it might be good publicity. What do you guys think about people whipping out their cameras and the food going cold by the time they take a shot? Is it a necessary evil at this stage where if you don't have people talking about your food on Instagram or TikTok, it's bad for business? Plus, maybe they're making money off it in some cases. What do you think, guys? Thomas.
I'm always happy if somebody takes photos and tells people about it.
The part about it that makes me upset is that when someone who is an influencer is trying to use that, I'm an influencer and we're coming to your restaurant, and they're just trying to leverage free shit. Or now I got an email yesterday, and this is new. This influencer, who's a travel food blogger influencer person, has now straight up said, I will come to your place, and if you pay me, I'll take this many pictures of your food. I'll do a drone shot. I'll post videos on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube, and I will leave you reviews on Yelp, Google, and somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
So pay me, and I'll come and do all that.
Mm-hmm.
I'll make you look great for my 100,000 followers.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And that actually bothers me less a little bit than people for some reason saying, I'm an influencer. I want to come to your place. Give me a bunch of free stuff.
Yeah.
Because usually those influencers don't even have as many followers as we do.
Mm-hmm.
Right. But the case that you're talking about, how is that any different than a paid endorsement?
No, it's not.
It's essentially
It's
what
not,
it is.
other than they're actually compiling all of the clips, the videos, editing, and putting that stuff up instead of just their likeness being used.
Yeah.
But it accomplishes the same goal. I mean, that just seems like an evolution in advertising.
Yeah, it is. And it is. But yeah, I mean, I guess just goes to show you can get anyone to say whatever you want.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
So what's real? What's true?
So if you have a huge marketing budget and you can hire a bunch of influencers that blow you up and drive,
yeah,
you can create that illusion.
Well, that's their angle anyway. They all want everyone that they're doing. They want everyone to give them their sunglasses and their shirt and their purse and their camera and their everything so that they can have it all free so that they can show everyone, hey, well, this is the cool thing that you need to have.
Mm-hmm.
There's like two things, right? In my book. So I guess it might be the same in the States, but across here, in the last 2 years, there's been a huge rally against the food influencers because people assume that, hey, all these reviews are legit. But what it turned out is these guys were going into restaurants and going, hey, give me $1,000. I'll say your food is great. And then people were going to restaurants and said, this food is shit. And there was this whole kind of brand damage that had been done. And that was point number one. So they lost the dressing room or the locker room essentially on that one. And then the second thing is, if you guys have somebody roll in from, I don't know, just say from the East Coast, right? Their core audience is on the East Coast.
Mm-hmm.
They're asking for $5,000. How many of their core audience are going to go, shit, let's hop on a flight to Texas and, go to Stanley's or wherever?
Yeah.
You may get a trickle from Go Belly, but that it can't justify the $5,000.
I think the best way to do it is if somebody does come in and they get the food and they authentically review it and go, "Fuck, this was really good. It cost this." If the restaurant reaches out at some point and go, "Hey, look, thanks for that. The next time you're in town, there's a dinner on us or something like that." And leave it at that.
Personally, I mean, that's how I'd want it to happen. If someone popped in and had a great time and posted something that went viral, then that's real, and that's great. And I love that.
But aren't we dealing really with the dead internet theory at this point, that the internet is just driven by bots? How many reviews are also being driven by bots?
Yeah.
And we already knew 10 years ago, you couldn't trust Yelp. 20% of the reviews coming off of there were former employees with access to grind, competition. There was always some bullshit from somebody, or somebody just coming and holding you hostage saying, I'm going to say this. This is the review I'm going to give. If I get this, this, and this, I'll change that review. I'll change my rating. I mean, we already knew that made up a percentage, and it already, in my opinion, discounted the value of all reviews. Because how do you know which? I mean, you and I, we could read a review and go, "This is all bullshit. We know this is bullshit." They're not even talking about my restaurant. Clearly, they haven't got the menu right. They haven't got the description of the place right. Much less, pricing. Nothing here is correct. So you can identify people like that fairly easily, but others can't. They don't know.
No.
And that reviews are even still heavily relied upon, to me, is somewhat fascinating.
I don't, and we've had this discussion so many times. I don't engage anymore.
Yeah.
I see there's a lot of that going on in the group thread with the 903 guys. They have small restaurants, and they choose to engage and respond, and there's some funny shit in there a lot of times, and we're all kind of weigh in on what we think someone should say as a response to the review. But me personally, I'm just like, yeah, I'm not doing it. But those guys they're still small, and I think it matters a lot more when you're small.
Yeah.
Especially when you're in a small town.
Yeah,
the chances are
the review is very local. That matters a lot more than just.
I mean, even one of those guys is like, "Oh, that's so and so's son that wrote that review. I'm gonna call his dad." Like his dad's gonna whoop his ass.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's some of that going on, but I can't anymore. As far as people taking food, yeah, sometimes the food gets cold but hey, they're the ones that have to eat it.
Yeah.
After that.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's a necessary evil or not. I mean, I just know that as much time as I know that I had spent trying to keep up with everybody's posts and trying to photograph the perfect tray and do this and that and the other thing, and just you get caught in a vicious cycle where you just literally don't have enough hours or give a shit in the day to continue to do it. We don't post a bunch of stuff about our food. It's tough. It's tough to shoot food, first of all, that's going to look good.
Mm-hmm.
And I just would rather focus our time on trying to make good food.
Uh-huh.
So Thomas, don't know, man. I think that's just going to be, if they don't want influencers in there, I guess that's their prerogative.
Uh-huh.
We are in America. It's a free country. Happy birthday, America. Happy 250th birthday. Guys, Cameron went to, he opened up his email. He typed in hello@smokelesspodcast.com, which, by the way, if you need to send something to Wayne, you can say Wayne@smokelesspodcast.com or Justin at smokelesspodcast.com. You could even put Nick or Vic. Actually, I don't know if Vic's works. I can make it work, though. Send us an email. Cameron did. And Cameron said, guys, has there been an episode you recorded so far that made you think differently about life? Have a different perspective about life? Or maybe something you didn't expect to hear from a guest? Everyone's thinking.
I got two straight off the bat.
Arnis is probably the one that stands out to me. 100%. Right? How he deals with his stress, how he dealt with his gluten issues, how he's used all of that to his advantage to grow as an individual, to remain sane, to develop product lines that extend beyond the traditional barbecue lines. I mean, I found his whole interview to be fascinating, really.
Agree. Same. He's the first one that came to my mind. Mostly what I loved about that is that everyone just talks about how good his food is, and it's gluten free, and they don't even know. And it's all still just amazing.
Yeah.
Because there is a stigma about that. People think that if something's gluten free, it's going to taste like shit. And he's proven everyone wrong there, because I promise you, no one's going to go in there and be like, "Oh, this is gluten free. No thanks." It's all killer.
That's great.
Yep.
Vic, what?
Yeah, definitely for me, Arnis. I'm editing Arnis for a start, and just getting so stuck into it again. And I remember text you guys directly after it, going, "This was probably the best episode that we've had to date." And I think for Arnis, who, you know, on the surface level, most folks, oh, here's a successful guy, good business, good food. But then when you hear where things went wrong, how he dealt with it, plus the fact that men's mental health is still like a taboo in a lot of cases, to see somebody successful come out and be so upfront and honest, was just like, you got to hit pause and rewatch that, because if you don't take something from it, and then Joe Zavala was just another one that was totally inspiring for a dude that had, you know, so many things go against him, and his energy. If you could bottle Joe's energy and sell it, barbecue distro, that's what he needs to do.
Yeah.
Stop the sauces, put Joe's energy into a few bottles. Man, we could all drink that juice.
Yep.
I agree. Well, thanks, Cameron. Good question. Got a couple more. You guys in for a couple more?
Roll it.
Okay. This one's from Jeremiah. Has barbecue always been a part of your life? Was there ever a first moment where you figured, this is the life for me? Would love an answer from each of you if possible. Thanks, Jeremiah. Well, no, Jeremiah, for me, barbecue has not always been a part of my life. It was quite accidental. Fell in my lap. I wanted to be in the restaurant business. Don't know if I would have chosen this one. This is just where the fork in the road happened, and I took it and ended up where I am now, and forever grateful for the amazing people that I've met, who I'm sitting with several here right now. And, you know, the amazing people I've met that not only that I've worked with and other barbecue guys, but the people that come into our restaurant, our regulars, and people that are now literally, truly lifelong friends that I met through Stanley's Barbecue. So I wouldn't want it to be any other way.
Good answer.
Thanks, pal.
I mean, for me, it's a similar thing. No, it hasn't always been part of my life. You know, I was in management consulting for 8 to 10 years before this, and it was when my son was born, and it was an option to not have to be on the road traveling all the time. I had been working away from Texas for quite a while. We were in California at the time, and when I moved back, it was like all I wanted to do was like immerse myself in everything that was Texas, all the hunting, all the food. I bought a pit for the backyard. I enjoyed a project. I wanted to learn how to make the rub. I wanted to, you know, to learn that whole process end to end, you know, and it was through following that hobby and that passion that, you know, at some point along the way, I realized I'm like, yeah, I guess this is probably what it's going to be. You know, let's give it a shot and see.
Do you think you'll ever get good at it?
I don't know. I hope so. I hope it's, you know, my mom tells me I'm going to be good at it. And so I still have hope.
Just kidding, Justin. You're a stud. And we know how much the Dallas barbecue scene has ridden your coattails, dude. You opened the door for a barbecue evolution in the Dallas Fort Worth area.
Well, thank you for saying that.
Thanks for doing it, Wayne.
Barbecue has been a big part of my life. Like it or not, I was immersed in it from the age of 8. when my father took over the restaurant from his dad. And that taught me over the span of 10, 11 years, there's no way in hell I would ever want to do this. And I swear to God, I would never want to do this, which is why I'm doing this, because you never say never in life. What became more important to me, you hear Nick talk about the influence this has had on the relationships that he has developed, that he's met so many people and developed so many incredible relationships. And barbecue has sort of been the conduit for that. I would say the exact same thing. I was really hoping that it would be the conduit for me and my father, to understand him as a man and not just as the disciplinarian or the father, the provider, the employer, but it was still relationships. And what I discovered along the way was, while that development with him was shortened and it was very much abbreviated, just like Nick, just like Justin, just like most other people that we know in this industry, it's opened the door up to so many more incredible people, so many more fulfilling life experiences, people experiences, understanding of the world and yourself. Because of its struggle, it introduces growth where you didn't know you needed it. It introduces understanding and patience that you thought you may never have. It helps you develop as a person. And because of the discipline that's required. So, yeah, I never thought in a million years this would be the path that I would ultimately wind up on. But the path, being on this path, it has provided me more, I think, benefit to my life than it could ever be detrimental, as difficult as it may be. I just think it's made me a better person.
Thanks for the question, and thanks for the answers, boys.
Yep.
Good stuff. Which leads to the last one. This is a great lead in. Ricardo says, "What makes the barbecue community so tight knit and strong? I've never seen anything like it anywhere else." And that is true. I mean, we see that, we experience that
To some degree.
Yeah.
I mean, we were just talking about this the other day. How many of the new barbecue guys do you know?
Right.
But when this thing flew out, when Texas Monthly really, it blew up, 2008 or 2008 is really when it took off. The barbecue festival at Texas Monthly in 2010 acted as this coalescing force that brought all of us together in a way that nothing else ever had done before.
Yep.
It had become our competition barbecue weekends, where all the competitive barbecue guys get together. They get to renew friendships. They get to strengthen friendships by hanging out together, cooking together, competing against each other, but sharing love between each other just to the core. Commercially, we hadn't had that before. And plus, everything was close to the vest at that time too. So opening up and people sharing as much as they did really changed everything. So our perspective is that there was that core group that did share and did have immense bonds. And, the younger guys are probably in that same mold with each other.
I think they are.
With their peer group. We're just the old
yeah,
farts.
Right, exactly.
That nobody, it's like, oh, you're old, you're doing whatever. We're doing whatever. It's just generational. That's what I think it is.
I mean, I'd have to boil it down to just there being a tremendous amount of mutual respect among the people that are there in that moment, because if you made it to there and you made it to that level, the sacrifice that was required to do that,
Very much.
And I think everybody there recognizes that, it's like it's anybody's game at that point. It's really just a personal preference thing more than anything. Everybody earned their spot if they've made it to that level.
Great point.
Yeah, agreed.
I and I wonder that if the new gen, the new Texas Monthly, the new gen, the new Top 50, it seems like that they are getting to know each other and hanging out and having the same kind of experiences we had. On my last road trip, I was checking out some other barbecue podcasts, and a lot of them are very centered on the competition circuit. And I guess the competition circuit's kind of starting to expand now into different styles. I guess live fire cooking is now becoming kind of a really growing category with a whole bunch of different people who just specialize in live fire cooking. And, they all seem super tight, and they're doing the whole thing where, they're seeing each other out at these events. And so I guess just whatever version that barbecue is that everyone's experiencing on a professional or amateur level, it does seem like the communities are pretty tight.
Mm-hmm.
The folks we know, which you pretty much, every guest we've had on this show so far, like it's all pretty much folks from the old guard, with the exception of some of the mini interviews we did at Troubadour last fall. Yeah, but these are all guys that we pretty much more or less have relationships with from our festival circuit.
I mean, I've seen multiple examples over the last year of barbecue restaurants coming together to help each other. They get a big catering order they can't handle, and they'll bring in one of their buddies to help cook or help deliver or serve or whatever like that. And
or bring equipment.
Really good. Bring equipment, and I'm like, okay, the spirit of it's still there. It's just a different generation of people that we're not as connected to, I don't think, as much.
I just really love the point you made about, basically if you're showing up at this point, we all know what we've been through to get here. And so there's that mutual respect. And I guess that's probably what to me is like, that when you walk in, and like the first time I met both of you guys, Wayne, it was the Super Bowl party in Dallas.
Yeah.
With, some heavy hitters there. And I was like, I got to go meet these dudes. Justin, same thing. As hadn't heard nothing, but I'm assuming at that point the list had to have been a thing. But I was like, I got to meet this dude.
I'll probably catch flack for making this comparison, but it's kind of like somebody saying they're in the restaurant industry or they own a restaurant, or if somebody says that they're a top 50 pitmaster. It's the difference between saying that you're in the military versus saying you're a Navy SEAL or something. Like there's immediate recognition, immediate acknowledgement of the sacrifice that you made to get there. And obviously those guys, it's not even a comparison, but just like an elite level of commitment to get there.
Dude, I think you got a point. I mean, I think if you're cooking barbecue this way, you are in the special forces of the restaurant industry. It is not the same. I think this is an elite group. I think we are the Green Berets and the Navy SEALs and the Delta Force. And I think it's a different ball game than just being in the restaurant business. Man, you're saying all kind of things that are smart, Justin.
Yeah, it's something in the water out here in Florida, I guess.
Are you gonna go see Arnis?
I don't know if I'm going to have time, unfortunately.
Speaking of which,
I've told 1,000 people about. I was sitting at the bar actually today at lunch before the podcast, and I had my hat that had the Masters logo on it. And this guy was asking me about it, and he goes, there's this guy from North Texas that's on social media. I think it's Meat Church or something. And I was like, Matt Pittman. He's like, you know Matt Pittman? And I'm like, no, Matt Pittman, but it was like that guy. It doesn't like, you can go anywhere and people know Matt Pittman and Meat Church. I don't know. I'm not really sure what I was telling that story and how that ties in.
Well, I thought you were going to say something about Arnis.
Right.
Anyway, so that came up, and they brought up something from. Sorry, they brought up Matt, and they were from like Denton or something like that. I said, "Did you guys know that there's a Texas Monthly Top 50 place here, and you guys need to go do that? And here's where it is." And everything. So I spread the word a little bit, even though I
What
wasn't.
what was the recognition they got for Michelin?
It was just included in the guide.
You're in
Like
the
the
Michelin
guides?
Guide.
Yep.
His new place is recognized in the Michelin Guide, the one that he struggled with so hard. You know, it's just another feather in Arnis's cap, in my opinion.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's just
So
badass to the nth degree. That is a big deal.
congrats, Arnis.
Huge
and Eddie Mays.
recognition. Yep.
Yeah. Well, that's all the questions. Guys, everyone, thanks for writing in. And first of all, thanks for listening. You know, we've been doing this for over a year now, and seems like yesterday when we started, but thanks for listening. Thanks for finding it. Thanks for sticking with us. Thanks for taking the time to send us questions. Now, the thing that we need you to do is tell a friend. If you got a buddy, someone you know who might dig the conversation, send them a link, turn them on to us. We'd appreciate that. We'd appreciate you checking us out on Instagram, smokeless_podcast. You can find us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever podcasts are. You can watch the video version of our podcast on YouTube and on Spotify. So if you like to watch and listen, check that out there. If you need some food, hit us up on goldbelly.com. We all ship nationwide. And if you need for your feet to not hurt or get some good sleep or just have a good laugh, go to drinkwillies.com, put in promo code SMOKELESS for 10% off your first order. You'll thank us. Thanks, Willie Nelson.
Mm-hmm.
How much longer do you think that guy's got it in the tank? Like he just keeps on going. I guess it's probably from drinking Willie's.
Yeah. I don't think he's going anywhere.
I don't either. We did it. We got another one in the books.
Somehow.
We had a guest scheduled today that seems to have more stuff going on than most.
Mm-hmm.
Last time he felt like a bowl of assholes. Today something happened. It's just a restaurant business.
Yep.
Yeah.
One day, you guys, we will interview Sam Jones. One day it will happen. In the meantime, let's all keep our fingers crossed that Wayne's restaurant stops flooding.
Yeah.
Please stop flooding Louis
Please.
Miller Barbecue.
Please.
If you guys feel like you got what it takes to tame the dragon, go hit this dude up. You can get a job, get taught by one of the greatest teachers in the entire world, and then you might end up on a TV show.
You'd be like cooking a brisket direct heat on like a green egg or something like that. Is what it sounds like.
You're more than welcome to come join me, Justin.
I wanted to watch a brisket curl up. I've never seen that. That would terrify.
Yeah, it was wild. It cupped up. It was crazy.
Well, on behalf of myself and the other gentlemen here, Justin and Wayne and Vic Berry, all the way over in Cork, Ireland.
Yes, sir.
Thanks for listening to the Smokeless Podcast. Tell a friend. We appreciate you. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.